So friends, in my previous tutorial, I had created one class by name singly linked list. Now this class has a list node by name head, which is an instance variable, and we also created one inner class by name list node. You can watch my previous tutorials in order to understand more about how to implement a singly linked list. So in this tutorial, we will write a code which we saw in the slide and see it's working. So first I will create one method as public boolean, and let's say I give method name as contains loop. So basically I will write the code inside this method contains loop, and it will return me back a boolean value that whether the linked list contains a loop or not. So in the first step, we'll create a fast pointer reference variable and we'll assign the value of head to it. In the second step, we'll create a slow pointer and we'll assign the value of head to it. Moving ahead, now we'll create one while loop which we saw in the slide, and we'll provide condition as fast pointer should not be equal to null and fast pointer next should not be equal to null. And in the while loop, we'll traverse fast pointer by 2 positions. So we are simply assigning fast pointer next to next value to fast pointer. So we are simply traversing fast pointer by 2 positions, and then we are simply traversing slow pointer by 1 position. So we are assigning slow pointer next value to slow pointer, and then we are providing an if check that if slow pointer is equal to fast pointer, then simply return true, and it means we have identified that the linked list contains a loop. And after the while loop, if suppose we haven't found any loop, then we simply return false. So friend, this is the algorithm which detects whether the linked list contains a loop or not. Now we'll also create one more method which will actually create a linked list having a loop. So public void create a loop in linked list. So in this method we'll create few nodes, we'll assign them in such a way that it will create a loop inside a linked list. So friends, in the slide we saw an example where the linked list contains 6 nodes and which was forming a loop. So I will simply replicate that example here. So for that I will create list node, say first equals new list node, and I give value as 1. Now I will create 5 more list nodes. So I'll just give them values 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll change the name as second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Now as we saw in the slide that head points to the first node, therefore we'll simply assign value of first to head. And we also know that first next was second, second next is third, third next is fourth, fourth next is fifth, fifth next is 6th, and in order to create a loop, the example we saw in the slide was 6th node, next refer to the 3rd node. So here we simply assign value of 3rd to 6th next. So 6th dot next, and we'll assign value of 3rd to it. So this will create a linked list containing a loop where first is pointing to second, second is pointing to third, third is pointing to fourth, fourth is pointing to fifth, fifth is pointing to sixth, and sixth is pointing to third. So it will create a loop. Now in the main method, let's test the working of this algorithm. So in the first step, we have simply created an instance of singly linked list. Now in the second step, I will call this method create a loop in linked list. So create. So after this method gets executed, the head will be pointing to a linked list containing a loop. So in the third step, we'll simply print the output of contains loop on the console. So here we'll simply call contains loop method, and whatever the outcome of contains loop is, we'll simply print it on the console. So currently you can see the linked list which we have created in this create a loop in linked list method has a loop. So the contains loop method should return true. So if I run the code, so you can see it returned true because the linked list which we have created in this method had a loop. Now here suppose I don't assign the value of third to 6.next. So if I comment this line, then we know that this linked list is not containing a loop. So if I run the code now, you can see it returned false because here we have break the link in the linked list which was actually making a loop. So friends, this was the algorithm to detect whether a linked list contains a loop or not. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.